Why?
it's just
No,
a different
why?
energy.
Please tell me,
I
Sam.
don't
Why?
know.
What?
I'm
Man.
disappointed in you.
Even as if he did nothing wrong. This is why I just didn't even retaliate.
Oh, that's rattled me.
There is no fixing this.
Ah,
Just
Chelsea,
Kimpembe.
what are you doing to us? God, steady the ship. Lonely at the top, lonely. AFCON on my mind. AFCON. Don't care what they say when it something with it particular.
Nigeria.
I didn't know what to do, man.
You know what's so mad?
That works. That
You know
works.
what's,
That
you
works.
know
that
what's
works,
so
that
mad?
works,
Yeah,
that
I
works.
genuinely am trying to learn that little bit in between for so long. I don't know what he says. What does he say? Money. AFCON. Oh, this is the Lookman one. AFCON on my mind. Don't care what they say in this particular. Anyway, welcome everyone back to another episode of Keep It 90. As you know, we are a brand new-ish football podcast that focuses on football, gaming, women's football, everything to do with the game.
Yes, sir.
And today, we're going to have to start with the one and only Super Eagles, man.
Yes.
We have to do that. But before we start, I'm going to ask how everyone's doing. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's weekend been?
Boy. Casamigos is not my amigo.
Oh, yeah, you was out in it.
Let's just
She was
put it
out
that
taking
way.
shots.
Oh,
Good
child, I was outside.
outside.
Let's just say that is not my amigo.
Fair enough. Did you guys do anything else aside from watching football?
Jeez, not really, man.
Yeah, not really this weekend, you know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this year started a bit boring?
I like my year starting boring.
Yeah, I was going to say, January, that tends to
I
be
like
the vibe, isn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
I
everyone's
feel like
recovering.
I've not
Yeah.
done anything. Like I've just been watching football, worked, and gone home.
Yeah. That's the vibe, I feel like.
I
Don't
feel
say
like.
you was amigo and
Hey,
Casa.
whoa. First off, let's not discriminate. Okay? Let's not discriminate. That was my first time actually outside in 2024, and it's February.
Got to make the most of it, man.
Do you know what I mean? So, listen, but it started off really slowly, and I'm ready for it to speed up.
Yeah.
Be
But I feel
fast.
like February is almost always that month that it kind of gets a bit quick because there's only 29 days this month or 30?
Yeah, it's a leap. It's a leap year.
Is it leap year this year? Okay,
think
so
so,
there's
yeah.
20, 28, 29, I don't know.
29.
It's 29.
I just take the days as it goes, man. I can't say I'm there. Like I say,
Anyway, let's go on to the African Cup of Nations, and we got to
Yes.
talk about the Super Eagles because they really are super right now, and they really are eagling. I don't know. Right? I don't know how I'm gonna go with that.
Feeling like they're flying high.
They're
flying
high. I love that, and that is what they're doing because they won 1-0 against Angola. A difficult game, I'd say, but I feel like the defense that Nigeria have currently is the best defense in the competition right now. And I don't want to say it, but I secretly feel like Niger the favourites, man.
I mean, you guys got South Africa next.
I'm a piano.
I feel like you guys are in that final.
Sorry.
I'm not going to lie to you.
We're in the final,
Yeah.
man. And you know what? Even though, like, it's a football game, I get it. But this means more than just football.
No, it does still.
This is Amapiano versus
If we
Afrobeats.
win,
Oh.
I'm a piano
Yes.
ours.
Oh,
Amapiano is
crazy?
Davido's. Amapiano is Ashakez. Amapiano is Wizkid.
Because I can't lie to you. Amapiano has been big, but when you get that Nige feature,
Bruh.
it's different.
You get Burna Boy on the remix.
It's different.
You know?
So, but it's going to be a good game regardless. The only thing that I'm actually worried about is that Nige aren't scoring that well, and South Africa's keeper was just on a mad one. He was on a mad one. And also the pressure of being the favourites. We've seen what it's done to Senegal. We've seen what it's done to Morocco.
Yeah.
Egypt's being up there as well. Like, there's something about being favourites in this competition that just doesn't sit well with me. But, yeah, man, I said last week that if Senegal or Morocco go out, then Nige are the favourites. So
Hondo,
have to-
nothing's stopping us. Like, I'm going to be so unbearable. Oh my God. I'm going to be so unbearable.
Yeah.
Africa is Nigeria's.
yeah,
It's Nigeria's.
You know what we need to talk about as well? It's not just the tournament. It's the entertainment value that this competition.
Don't
has
understand,
brought.
man.
I don't think I've
Entertainment
seen.
value.
I think this has been the best AFCON that we've ever witnessed. Not just because of the entertainment value, because entertainment is always good, but I think the quality of football as well has been amazing. I feel like the fact that a lot of players now have gone back to their roots and have not gone for, a lot of us were brought over to these countries and you can represent England, France and all these things, but a lot of players are going back. And I think because of that, we're seeing a different standard.
Yeah.
But then the other side of it, where you're seeing losses and how it impacts the players, the managers. Who was the manager that was on his knees with the water being
I
dashed
don't know
over
who
his
that
head?
was, man. But
Who was the what was it? Mali?
It was Mali.
It was Mali against Ivory Coast. It was the last minute comeback.
Yes.
I have never seen anything that funny in my
that meme
actual
can be
life.
used for everything.
It's for
It's for
everything.
everything.
It's
Like,
for
however
everything.
you're
His head
feeling.
was hot.
He was like this.
His head was hot. And the worst thing about it is he wasn't stopping my man. Donny wasn't even looking at him while he was just pouring the bottle and he was
He
just
needed it, man. He needed it.
I was saying to Copes, that looked rehearsed. Like, he's done this before.
No,
Like,
yes.
this has happened before.
Nah, I felt for him, man, because that was pain. They felt like they could get through last minute Ivory Coast, and he just needed to cool down. I haven't seen any interview about what that situation was about after, but that also birthed another situation. I don't know if it was in that game. It might have been the game before, but Ivory Coast. And that man that was in the stands, that shot he shot.
Oh, yeah, that
when
was the game before.
He was in her ear.
Yeah, nah. And he was shouting.
Yeah.
He was
I know that you're beautiful. You're a beautiful woman.
He was
That's all
shouting.
I could see.
Did you see the interview with him after?
No?
Apparently, he genuinely is married.
Yes.
Oh my
And
God.
he genuinely shot his shot.
Yes.
Oh,
And he
goodness me.
apologized to his wife and his kids
On
for
TV.
for taking that situation too far. Do you know how funny that is?
How are you getting caught like that? Like, of all the people that are in the stadium, like, you're getting caught like that.
to admit it on national
Yeah,
TV.
yeah,
But
you-
at that
joke,
point,
man.
you have to. Like, when you think about someone like Martial, when he had to admit, oh, I'm so sorry for my wife, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That you got to apologize. And if you're going to
Yeah.
disgrace me on national television, apologize.
You should have made
Same
up a lie, man.
television.
I was just asking her if she wanted some food from the
There
stand.
we
or something
go,
like that. I was
there
just
we
telling
go,
her there was
there
a
we
bit of
go.
tissue on her shoe.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Did you guys see PK Humble and the Congolese mafia shut
Yeah.
down?
Yeah.
Was it West or East?
was
or
North,
wherever?
no?
Oh, what, dancing on the car and that?
Like
Oh,
they were
lovely.
jumping on cars.
You
know what?
Did a waistline
Fair
and
enough.
everything.
Fair enough. They've actually got a good team as well. Like I'm actually shocked at how well they've done and how not under the radar because now we're seeing them and obviously they're in the semi-final.
Yeah.
But when I watch them, they've got Wissa, they've got that guy that played for what their centre back, their captain. His face is very familiar. He even looks slightly Nige.
Not Masuaku.
Not Masuaku. He's the one that bagged. He bagged that goal from left back. But either way, no one expected them to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't even think Congolese fans expected it until they got to this position. And I just love the fact that obviously these competitions are always embraced. And we spoke about the conversation beforehand about African Cup of Nations and how it's treated in terms of the media and how managers talk about it, players talk about it. But I feel like it has just risen above everything. We've got a latecomer. I thought you didn't want to come, to be honest, after our result, but we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that later. But yeah, what would you guys say has been your highlight of the African Cup of Nations so far?
I guess for me, it's just the fact that Nigeria got this far. Like, I feel like there's been some stupid moments during this entire tournament. But I feel like after the group stage for Nigeria, I started to actually believe that we've got something cooking there. Especially when Senegal went out and when Ivory Coast originally went out in the first place. When they originally went out, I thought, okay, this is done. And when Morocco went out as well, that's when I started to believe. And for me, that has been my highlight because before then, I told everybody, let's be grateful if we get to round of 16, you know? But yeah, that's been my highlight.
What about you, Shiz?
I ain't got none, man.
You ain't got none? Damn.
Got kicked out, so now I've jumped on many trains now. You know, I was rooting for Zim, but Zim didn't even make it in. Then I was rooting for Zambia, kicked out. Now I'm rooting for South Africa because that's still home. So you know what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
That's
That's
it.
what you say.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I had no skin in the game in this tournament, but to me, it was just seeing some of the, again, smaller teams, I guess, the ones that you weren't expecting to get as far as they have, get there. So again, you've got a Congo, you've got a South Africa. Even when you think of teams like Mali, you weren't expecting a lot of these teams to get where they got. You were expecting your Egypts, I mean, Ivory Coast, I still don't know how they got here, but you know what I mean. You got them, Egypt, Morocco. So yeah, it's been quite nice just to see again those sort of underdogs, sort of show that we're about kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Prince?
Angola's goal, definitely the highlight. That goal was just world class for me, and I just love the underdog story, man. I love an underdog story. So for me, just seeing the underdog teams that you don't really, that you might have counted out. They got Cape Verde as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And everything like that. Like realistically, it's been amazing. So
I thought you was gonna say your highlight was that meme because I seen you already used it. With the water on the head and that, I've seen you.
Sam sent me that meme as well.
No, you know what's so funny about the fact that you mentioned Cape Verde? Yeah? I'm gonna have to mention it because obviously I'm gonna mention it. Doesn't mean that I was, but I'm just saying that the cameramen during the Cape Verde games were moving very.
They have an assignment.
Particular
Yeah.
still.
They have an assignment.
They were very interested in some of their fans, and it was so funny to see them because I feel like as the game started going on, I started seeing threads on Twitter as you do of all the screenshots of the fans and stuff like that. But then it was that Cape Verde, I swear to you, the cameraman went there at least 20 times. After every shot, goal, every reaction, you're seeing a new frame. I said, you man, you man are trying to use this footage for something else.
They've got some beautiful women though.
But
They're beautiful
it
women.
was making me laugh here because I don't know how true it is, but I saw a tweet that like their visiting prices and that has gone up.
It's
Rocketed
gonna
up
go
and
up.
everything. Like, everyone's trying to get
100%,
over there, go
100%.
find their partner. So
The
yeah,
love
good
of
luck
their
to all of
lives.
you, man.
Is everyone saying that Nigeria's the favourites to win, or do we have a underdog that we think is going to take it?
Nigeria to win, but the way it's been moving, the way Ivory Coast has been moving, I just would not be surprised if somehow they nick it. Just because, again, it seems like it's almost written in the stars at this point. Because how they beat Mali, I just don't know. I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I think, you guys are the favourites at this point.
Let's get on to Premier League football because we're going to have to, and I feel like it was better to start with the positives. All right, let's start with Arsenal-Liverpool.
Okay.
Arsenal 3-1 Emirates. Yeah, no, fair enough. Great game. You're allowed to celebrate, guys. You're allowed to celebrate here on Keep It 90. You're allowed to celebrate here on Keep It 90.
Thank you, man. Jeez, I feel like I can't anymore.
It was a big win because there's always that noise around the game against Liverpool. Obviously, the documentary as well, and the fact that Arteta, goes above and beyond when he's playing Liverpool, and rightly so. They're top of the league. This is Klopp's last season, so it's gonna mean a lot more. So to go into that game and dominate the way Arsenal did, and the fact that I think this was the first game that Liverpool had their opponent having above, I think 3.4 XG or something along those lines. Like they were dominated. Van Dijk, I've never seen him play that bad. Alisson, I've never really seen them look so rattled in a sense. Like it was only up until the second goal where he was like, okay, no, you guys actually aren't playing well. Do you know what I mean? Just because it was still a bit even, and then when the third goal went in, it was like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Arsenal's performance?
Boy, from minute one, innit? What can I
I'm
say?
feeling good.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. I'm feeling good. It's not too often we get in them positions where we beat Liverpool, and obviously if we lost, we would have been 8 points behind them. And obviously us winning puts us 2 points behind them. Obviously we still got City there with their games in hands and stuff. But I enjoyed the game thoroughly. I feel like when we conceded, I was a bit like, I mean, come on. But it's just Arsenal, innit? Like, this is what we do. We just make it hard for ourselves. But we showed real fight after the second half. Again, I was a bit afraid because, Klopp, he's like the better half-time manager. He goes in there and it changes everything. And I'm like, right, I don't know about Mikel. Sometimes he always keeps it the same and it didn't really feel like it was going to do anything. But then he made the change with Zinchenko. Kiwior came on, had a great game. And I'm feeling good.
No, fair.
I'm feeling good.
That's what you said.
Listen, it was a good Sunday, innit? Like, let's put it this way, like, after the FA Cup, I thought, we could blow this again, again. But from minute one, we showed we were the better team. That's all it was. We played them out the park. I mean, you could tell Trent wasn't fully fit.
Yeah.
So Martinelli was just rubbing his hands every time on that left hand side, being like, all right, let's go, like let's see what you can do. So you saw him have to take an early walk out, and we just dominated. It was just like Rice does what Rice does, as you expect.
Jorginho.
Jorginho, and you know what?
Listen,
I
that
put my hands up
pairing.
about Jorginho because I'm not gonna lie to you. When we got him last January, I was like, here we go again. The older 30+ from Chelsea, we're just
little retirement home FC.
Retirement home FC. All right, come on. But you know what? done his
I
thing.
love him.
Yeah, him and
I love
Rice
him, man.
done what they need to do in that midfield. Odegaard, again, he's been a bit rocky past couple of weeks. Again, showing what he needs to do like always.
Strong.
Even Kai Havertz, and I mean, this. I'm still. Listen, for what he needed to do. Listen, if he wasn't doing what he needed to do, Kanate doesn't come off. You know what I mean? Like he
It's
done a
true.
job. He
It's
done a
true.
job.
It's true. I
Arguably,
get
he
it.
should have scored that goal. Which
Not his job, but he done a job. All right.
listen.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like with Havertz, it's one of those ones where you're gonna have to just accept what he gives you. That isn't goals.
scraps.
Like really and truly, he had a good game. He is always gonna have that moment in a game where you're like, you should do better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In that
Yeah.
situation. But Arteta trusts in him, and I think that it made sense. That we're forgetting that Gabby Jesus wasn't about. Saka's coming off a run of games that he's not really showed himself as well. Martinelli as well. They haven't been themselves. So to come out with that performance, I think it was good. But I wanted to ask you guys, do you feel like this was Arsenal being great or Liverpool?
It was Liverpool being bad for sure.
Okay.
So
Hater.
Come on,
Right.
man.
No,
Please. Tell us how. Tell us
I'm
how.
not even
please.
discrediting what Arsenal did. You guys, good game. Yeah, good game. However, I think Jurgen Klopp made a huge mistake in not starting Darwin Núñez. I think with
Slightly injured though.
yeah, but if he could come on, you can start him. You know, I feel like starting him would have been the best solution. And everyone's like, even when Darwin came on, he didn't make a difference. Fine. But I feel like if he had started, Arsenal wouldn't have had so much freedom on the ball. They wouldn't have had... I feel like up front, Liverpool looked very shaky. It looked like there was no pattern of play up front either. And Darwin Núñez, even though 9 times out of 10 he's hitting the post, he's still causing your defence so much trouble. He's the nuisance. You always got to look over your shoulder. Gabriel and Saliba would have had a nightmare with them. They would have got a sniff at the back.
Yeah, but it's like you just said though. He came on.
But
Yeah,
the
it
game
still
didn't
had him.
really
They
rattle
still- yeah,
no
did that-
one.
did
Like,
that-
the
yeah,
game
did
had
he
already
rattle?
been settled, no? The game was the pattern of the game was already settled. Arsenal were dominating. Liverpool had to find their way out.
I get that, but it's Liverpool, man. Like, so I feel like with Liverpool, like, their goals can come anytime. They're very, like, they will punish you no matter how kind of what the goal line is looking like. And I can't lie, the front three, bro, if I have Diaz, I've got Jota, bearing in mind, Jota's got a very good record against us.
He does.
And you've got Gakpo, but obviously Gakpo,
That's the point.
it's
That
fair enough,
was
yeah.
the issue.
But you've got them two, I'm sorry, you can create damage. Like, something can go on. Like, Salah ain't been here and they still been winning games. Like, I can't lie.
But I
Like,
think-
it's
I
just...
think-
That's the thing, right? Because Gakpo got in.
Yeah.
Gakpo's in there. The chemistry is with Darwin Núñez up front, right? And I think taking him out of that equation did more damage than good. I'm not saying Arsenal didn't play well. I'm not saying that. But it is harder to create for someone who drops in a bit deeper than Darwin Núñez does, who wants to be more involved in the play than Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez, he's more like, find me in the box, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the fox in the box. And you always have to keep your eye on him. I'm not being funny, but I needed more from all three of them up front. And I just wasn't getting it from them. I sound like I was supporting Liverpool. I wasn't. I promise to God I wasn't. But I was very disappointed in the tactics and the way Liverpool played. They could have done a lot better. I still think Arsenal would have won. I think home advantage definitely had you guys as well. Because we always say going to Anfield is a nightmare. Going to a happy Arsenal or a happy Emirates is long. You don't want to do it because,
North
boy,
London song, even though they're not from there, but
they're from Woolwich.
but
Like,
anyway.
they are from
Oh,
Woolwich.
but
You're from
anyway.
Let it
Ends.
go, let it go,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
it go,
I'm just
like,
saying- I'm just saying-
It's not even your beef to
know what I
mention
mean?
it.
You
Like,
know what I
it's like,
mean?
like,
You know
Just
what I
saying,
mean?
just saying. But
It's just a little bit of jealousy from me. It's a little
Pritz,
bit
I
of
actually
jealousy.
want to know what you think on that game as well, because I think Jurgen Klopp, like everyone has said, is a manager that gets most of those decisions in big games, right? Obviously, they came off the back of beating Chelsea 4-1. They looked rampant. I think maybe we're discrediting them missing Conor Bradley more because of the fact that how he's been playing for their last few games. Obviously, he wasn't able to play because of a loss in his family, and I think that might have thrown off the balance of this, because I don't think Trent was ready to start, and I think that Conor Bradley is genuinely like a brilliant two-way midfielder that everyone, two-way defender that everyone's starting to can be
He
that
might be one of
replacement.
them ones,
He might
yeah.
be that one where, okay, we don't need to buy another right back. We can just put him there and put Trent in midfield.
Reece James
So I think that slightly put them off. But do you think that Liverpool needs to do anything drastic, or do you feel like it's just a loss and you just take on the trend?
First of all, congratulations to Arsenal. I was very happy that you beat them cheating teams. I've had enough of their VAR ways personally. So I'm glad Arsenal got them out of there. I do feel like it was just a loss though. Like at the end of the day, what you got to understand is Alisson and Van Dijk, world class players. You can't. So everyone makes mistakes in any sport. Anyone that's at the top of that. At the time, you can make mistakes. Even when the goal went in and Alisson had the howler and it was a miscommunication, they just tapped each other and said, "Look, it happens. They're human, innit?" And they've already, you know what I mean. Van Dijk's already had interviews and he's already come out and said, "Yo, look, I'm gonna show you. Look, I'm gonna change it from here." They're gonna be locked in. It's an L. You can't you know what I mean. How many times do people have L's and then they go on and win anyway? It don't matter. They're still the favourites after City, and then do you know what I mean? It's like they're gonna drive on, man. It's just like,
Do we think, okay, this is the big conversation now because obviously of what happened after the game, Arteta celebration for the third goal ran around, then end of the game, Odegaard celebration with the cameraman, the Arsenal cameraman, that also featured in the documentary. Obviously, you can see it from two perspectives. You can see it from a perspective of we saw what happened with Arsenal last season and we know that they let it slip. It might not have been a mentality thing, but I think where there's always going to be a conversation around what Arsenal can achieve and what Arteta can do, the fundamentals of winning teams is to win the game and go again. So seeing the extra stuff can make people think, okay, you're getting carried away. But then on the other side, it's also enjoying the process of being that team again and going to the Emirates and beating the top of the league. I think it's their first loss in how many months.
Yeah.
So it obviously means a lot. Where does everyone stand with the over-celebration police?
Listen,
Celebrate how much you want.
exactly.
Like, bro, if it means something to you, like, celebrate. I feel like a lot of the pundits, yeah, Carragher, I feel like he was just miserable. And I'm just like, bro, like, it's okay for people to enjoy the sport. Like, I feel like when they were playing it was like conservative, like, yeah, you get on the pitch, you do your thing, you leave. Like, you win the league, then you celebrate. But it's like we're seeing a lot more younger people, like, there's culture in the game. People are excited, people are happy. You got a good result. Like, it's not every single time, number one, that we beat Liverpool. That's number one. And two, we was at home. The fans were celebrating with us. How many times do you see Klopp running up and down his technical area and jumping up and down and throwing his fist into the crowd? When Arteta does it, it's a problem. I feel like it's just always an issue. With Arsenal, like, let the people celebrate, let the people have fun. And Odegaard's having a moment with our cameraman who's been in the club for over like 20 years, 30 years even. Like, so...
You know what it is? I just think with Arsenal, I think they're just that annoying team though. No, like I'm not even saying it like genuinely now, Don't get twisted. I'm a fan of football and I can understand players and fans celebrating wins and stuff like that. But when Arsenal do it, there's
You
just
don't
like
have a problem.
And no, it's no, it's just
why
it's
though?
just-
Why?
it's just
No,
a
no,
different
why?
energy.
Please tell me,
I
Sam.
don't
Why?
know. I don't
what
know.
is it?
Like,
I don't get it.
I didn't have-
I've deeped it.
I didn't have an issue with the celebration, but I knew that when Odegaard picked up that camera, that there was gonna be a conversation about it. I just knew it, like, because
it's a personal thing between our captain
That is the
and the
worst bit.
cameraman. If you've seen the documentary, he was in there giving us team talks. Like, when Arteta was there, he's giving us team talks. The cameraman, like, it means a lot to him too. Like, everyone's just having
And to be
fun.
honest with you, I like, because let's also talk about football, right? Especially in this modern day. People want to sit there and talk about these players far removed from, I guess, the world. They sit in their own bubble, money, etc.
Yeah.
I like the fact that these guys are just excited about that victory, like the fans. At the end of the day, right? That shows that bit of no, actually, they have got that connection. They do feel as invested as say us as the fans. Like, that to me is important. And when you look at, for example, Odegaard and the photographer, it's quite nice to see that they've got some sort of a
relationship.
Exactly, a rapport. It's not a
Yeah.
case of you're the photographer over there, make sure you get my good side and keep it moving. It's like, no, we've got the banter. I know know you're a fan. We just beat Liverpool. Let's come on. Let me take a picture in front of the the North Bank. Come on, let's just have that moment. Like to me, that's a nice moment, and that
cute,
could have
man.
been Anfield, Van Dijk doing it with whoever their photographer is, or Enzo at Chelsea. It does, like, to me, that's just a nice moment. That just shows that there's some sort of there's personality there. There's a relationship there, and those things you just don't want to be taken out of football. Otherwise, it's like, all right, cool, be robots then. You know what I mean?
I feel like Jamie Carragher, he's not even a miserable guy in general. So when he was commenting, I'm just like, you're hurt.
He's just upset.
You're upset.
But
Like,
I don't think there's a
can feel
problem
your
with
pain.
that though. I feel like people overreact to that type of stuff. Like, you could hear he was
hurt.
angry.
seething.
Yeah,
Like, he was
yeah.
angry.
Seething.
Let him be angry. He's a fan. Like, that's the thing with these fans and pundits and stuff like that. The reason we are able to connect to some of these pundits is because they show their raw emotion after
Yeah.
wins, losses, whatever. If I'm an Arsenal fan in that situation, I know Arsenal fans were like laughing and saying, look how rattled he is. Same thing I'd be doing. I wouldn't be putting up threads and saying, oh, look when Klopp did this and Klopp did that. Stop doing it. Like, I feel like there's just too much conversation around certain topics where it just doesn't need to be
Yeah, it
that.
doesn't need to be. My only thing with Carragher though is after the match he was still tweeting about it, and I don't know if he was doing
Have
it.
you seen his DP?
Yeah.
His DP is out of God with the camera.
But
Like,
again, maybe he's doing that as banter, fair play. But it's like some of the tweets I was a bit like,
did the most.
yeah, you're doing a bit too much here. Just let it go in it.
I feel like no one should police how anyone should celebrate, especially if you're celebrating with a cameraman. I thought it was so sweet. As in,
Yeah.
that cameraman's probably been a lifelong Arsenal fan his whole
Bruh.
life.
He is.
And he's getting the captain of Arsenal to take
Yeah.
a picture of him on the pitch in front of fans. Come on,
Wait,
man.
wait.
Bigger picture.
Prince, do you think, that there's ever a moment that you can take celebration too far in the middle of a season, in the middle of a title race, where you bottled it last season and you know that you need to step it up? I'm genuinely just asking.
No, I think, look, man, we need some personality in the Prem. We need more of it. I personally, I think you need more in it. I don't really see nothing too wrong in it. It's at the end of the day, make it a family game. It shows Arsenal's always been that team anyway. They love the PR. They've always been like that. Yeah, because it was
The way you said it, bro.
like
Let him carry on. Let him
Yeah,
carry
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I can't battle with Chelsea
And
right
he
now. I
tried to
can't. We're
drop
not
it
on the
subtly
level.
as well.
He
It's
tried to do
like-
it. No,
Look at his face. He's moving as if he did nothing wrong.
This is why I just didn't even retaliate. I said, let him have a little moment.
No,
You're
wait,
next.
wait.
You're next.
Wait, I'm sorry. I
When you
genuinely.
mentioned the bottling and that.
Yeah,
Fam.
it's like,
No,
no
it's
need.
cool.
There's no
Have
need.
you? And then he
I
slid
Have
the
you
mic
watched
like
Real
this.
Housewives?
A bit, some of them.
Do you know when Phaedra Parks is dragging
yeah,
someone?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly
Oh,
what
don't
you just
compare me
did.
to Phaedra.
Nah, that's
Oh,
what you
okay.
just did.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
You did.
Maybe the fan in me came out a bit too much, but
it's
I
You
mean,
meant it
just
like Jamie Carragher did, bro.
Over celebrating in general, it's an issue.
But do you know what it is though? Yeah, over celebrating sometimes it's needed though. Like,
Yeah.
when we think about over celebrating, the one time, but it was one of my favorite moments in football when Adebayor scored against you lot and ran across the pitch.
That was
that was the
sensational.
most over celebrating celebration.
Yeah.
But tell me that did not really shape some kind of
Feeling.
feeling.
Yeah.
I felt that
I ran with him. I was running with
Yeah,
him.
you get it. Like, I don't even support City.
Yeah.
And I never liked Adebayor because he used to try and bully us. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when I said raw, he meant that. I loved it. So
Yeah.
nah, man, you can't it's emotion.
Yeah,
People get
man.
over emotional. It's just
And people are human as well.
Yeah.
Like, people expect people to be robots. Like, people have personalities. We're human,
Yeah.
passionate. When you love the sport, when you love the position you're in, you love your teammates, you're going to show passion. Come on,
I
man.
was speaking to my girls yesterday about it, and we were just like, what happened to them players that used to have their own individual celebrations
Yes.
that everybody used to go nuts over anyway?
Yeah.
Why can't we have that now? You know, like, there's no such thing as over celebrating. Why ain't we got those individual celebrations that we can link to each player? We haven't got that.
I feel like the football in general nowadays, there's so much over analysis on like all
and
the
everything.
smaller moments, the type of personality the player has, the type
hairstyles.
of hair, the socials, the
car they
what
drive.
they do. Like, so I feel like being a footballer in this generation is probably the hardest thing you could be
And
because
it's mad because we're the most creative generation in football
It's
right
true.
now,
It's
and we
so
can't be
true.
ourselves.
We can't because just Like I was even saying to Prince, like you see in the NBA, they could be down like 20 points, like,
And they'll
but
still
they'll
dunk.
hit a free, and then the whole bench is up,
They'll
like
be-
my
they'll-
God,
they'll-
exactly,
yeah,
like
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like they will celebrate,
Yeah.
hold each other, start dancing,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, no one looks at them and like, but you're 20 points down. You
Nah,
can't be
I look at them
bro,
like
it's
that. I
passionate
can't
as
lie. I
fuck,
look at them
though.
like that. But you can't be
Nah,
20
man,
points down.
because
I saw
they
someone
catch up
20
real
points
quick.
down and he did like a through the legs slam dunk. I said, bro, you're 20 points down. You better hustle back.
Let me enjoy, man.
No, fair play. I feel like everyone agrees on that one, to be honest. Gosh. Let's go into it then. Lads, lasses, we're going to have to
What's up?
talk about another loss for Pochettino's men and the blue side of Chelsea.
Which one?
Which one?
Jinx.
The blue side of Chelsea. The blue side of Chelsea.
That
The blue
was
side of
so
London.
unnecessary. I think it was a great weekend though.
It was
For the women.
It was a 3-0 win. We'll take that.
Yeah.
2 penalties, 1 great team goal, top of the league. Yeah, man, I'll take it.
No, we can't hide. We can't shy away. Can't shy away from it. Chelsea Men's Football Club.
Oh, yeah,
Chelsea
cool, yeah.
Men's Football Club. The English ain't even English right now. Chelsea lost to Wolves 4-2 at home. Cunha hat trick. Fans booing. A lot of discourse after the game around formation, around players improving, around conceding 4 goals back to back. And you know what I find so interesting? This is what I said in one of my group chats, yeah? Because you know me, Neats, anyway, yeah? I've tried to be quite level-headed this whole season. And I feel like the season has unfolded in a way that a few fans would have predicted. But if you're being optimistic, you would have tried to see signs in certain games, yeah? That's what fans do when they're clutching onto hope. And the reality of the start of the season where Chelsea were playing okay but not getting results is what led us to this point now. And the reason I say that is because from the start of December up until I think the second week of Jan, Chelsea had got the most amount of points in the Premier League. And no one was really talking about that, which is fair enough because we were still in and around 10th, 8th, right? But the problem with that is when you have 2 games back to back where you lose and now you're sitting in 11th, you can't look at it reasonably because you look at the table.
What are you saying, Sam?
No, but that's no. You're
just
talking. This is me. You're not letting me break down my feelings.
I've been waiting
No,
to
you're
land
not letting me
for a
break
minute.
You're not letting me break down my feelings.
Let
me
man
land. Let me land.
Nah, man.
Let me. This has been in my heart for like.
Autopilot right now.
You lot have been there as well. Don't act like you.
Yeah, we've been there. We've been there. We've been there.
No,
Sorry.
That is
Go on, man.
no,
Sorry, man.
I'm
Land.
disappointed in you.
When we out here, I'm gonna cook.
I'm disappointed because you know why, yeah? I'm not saying I'm not disappointed. I'm saying why we're at this position and why I feel like now I feel similar to how I felt this time last season when everyone was calling for Potter for there to be a reshuffle in management. And I'm saying that because I actually believed in Poch. I genuinely thought that he was going to be a good manager. I thought that he was the right manager for the type of squad that we had. But then when you see how things are unfolding, you start thinking, okay, cool. Have the players given up? Is he feeling too much pressure? Is there something going on behind the scenes? Because we didn't sign anyone in January. He's had the same squad throughout. He didn't have the trials and tribulations Potter had to deal with, that Lampard had to deal with. There was a lot more that they had to go through last season. And to be in the same position a year on is sad. It's sad. And that's just, I don't even have a question. I just wanted to share my feelings. So you can talk, Anita, since you wanted to stop me from sharing my feelings about my club.
Do you want to go, Prince? Do you want to share your feelings too?
I don't want to really trust me.
Share your feelings. Don't worry.
I
Go.
don't even.
We're here to listen. It's therapy.
No, don't do that. See, this is what I'm saying.
No, I'm just
I don't
saying that
feel
we're
like-
here to
I don't
listen
feel like
to
this
you
environment's
guys.
good.
No,
for me right
don't
now.
worry. I'm listening. If you
You
need
know
to
what?
listen.
No, don't do that because you've been
Yeah, it's a
giggling
safe
like
space
for
that-
the last. You've been laughing.
I'm serious.
You see, the thing is, yeah, you can't celebrate. You can't be upset. This is the vibe. And the thing is, for me with Chelsea right now, I've got to the point where if you don't laugh, you cry. It's actually just that real. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's embarrassing. I don't want to get at I don't want to do what the reactionary fans are doing, but the reactionary fans are also making a lot of sense.
What are they saying?
What are they saying? Yeah.
They're saying everything, but
They're saying
Poch out.
everything. They're saying, all right, so they're saying Poch out. And the thing is just like you, I believe that Poch was going to be better than Potter. So I thought, you know what, someone can make this team work. We knew about Poch. We know he makes his team work, train hard, all of that from Liverpool, PSG, everything, right? So, not Liverpool, sorry,
Spurs.
Tottenham. PTSD from Liverpool. So anyway, so obviously now it's one of them ones where it's like I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, he might be able to make these youth work. Like we might have something cooking. It's not cooking. It's not working.
It kind of burnt.
And
no, I'm not.
Carry on.
So
Don't
I'm
even,
just, no.
don't
I'm
even.
just.
You carry on.
Carry
Don't
on.
even.
Sorry, my bad.
so obviously, oh, that's rattled me.
Yeah.
So obviously, because no trophies and they.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
no,
Carry on.
trophy
Right,
talk.
right,
You have a
carry on,
two.
carry on, carry on.
All right, cool. So obviously, yeah, like we feel like them with no trophies, but we're just in a tougher position, yeah. But it's like the difference is here. I don't see a way out. That is the only thing now. And it's not just because Poch, it's not just because the players, it's not just because we can't finish. It's the whole structure of the club now. We're looking at, like, the club's actually been destroyed from when Roman went, the sanctions, everything down the line, people leaving, medical staff, Tuchel, my boy, like all of these things that really happen, it's actually destroyed the club, you know. It's more than what's just going on the pitch. This medical stuff. Fofana's now been confirmed that he might not play this season. Lavia's played 30 minutes this season. We was at the bridge. Lavia played 30 minutes. I said to Anita, I said, why does he look like he's limping? Ain't seen him since. There's such a dishonesty. There's a dishonesty in the reports. I've got a friend he's got a Twitter page. He does all, you know what I mean? He does like a couple of leaks here and there. He messaged me weeks ago saying Nkunku's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. The next day, Potter said Nkunku will be back next game. And Nkunku was out for 3 to 4 weeks. There's something going on a lot deeper at the club, and it's actually got to the point where I'm sitting there saying, can this actually be fixed? What have the owners done? I don't want to blame everything on the owners, because the owners are trying. I don't think they're doing... No, hold on. They are trying. They're investing. You can't get angry at owners that invest because...
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, because
you can't
they
get
are...
angry at owners that invest.
They invest silly. Yes, they invest silly, but it's like but they were trying. It weren't like they weren't trying.
It was a method that
It was a method that just didn't work,
It's a
but
method
they
that
tried,
no
though.
one saw and no one had seen before in football.
Exactly.
It didn't work, or it hasn't worked
It hasn't
so far.
worked so far, no.
And we can say, yeah, you should have just stuck to what everyone
what
had been
we
doing.
knew. But
Yeah,
it's
what we
not.
knew.
But it's not like they came in and was just like, all right, cool.
We're not spending
and
nothing.
then they put the advertisements up and they're making money, but not invested in the club. They are invested in the club. It's just they've just gone the wrong way around it. And I feel like the club's now at a point where it's really destroyed.
Go
and
on,
it's hurting me.
go on, Anita.
I sympathise with you guys a lot. But I saw, like, remember when I told you at the beginning of the season, what are you expecting? And you're like, oh, you're such a negative Nancy. You're such a negative fan. It was all laid out for us to see at the start of the season. Obviously, the owners started a regime that hasn't been heard of. And that's fine. That's okay. You have to try new things when you come into a new club, blah, blah, blah. A business model that has not been successful in football before is not a business model that should be trusted with a team like Chelsea, like a team that's always winning constantly. We can't try new things because we're not afforded the luxury to. Liverpool tried new things. They went back to the basics with Jurgen Klopp and gave him what he wanted. You know, that you go back to the basics as soon as possible. We haven't done it yet. It is what? How long have they been here now, the owners?
Since 2 years. Yeah, I'd say 2.
2.5 years now. We need to be learning from our mistakes.
So what do you want them to go back to?
The thing is, I'm not saying sack every manager.
Yeah.
What has happened now with the owners has been done. We've got all these players that are young talents. It has been done. And that's when you're right. There is no fixing this. We have to rock with this for the next few years.
Yeah.
So for me now, instead of
7-year
complaining
contract,
about this,
Jeez.
I'm being patient with it now. I have
Yeah.
no other choice but to just be patient, ride it out, and just see what happens in the next few years. We can get Poch out. The next manager is still going to struggle. We can get the best. We can get Pep into this team. He going to struggle.
I disagree.
He
And
won't.
the reason why I disagree, I hear what you're saying. There's always going to be struggle with a squad that's full of so much youth and so much.
It's not because of the youth.
So much inconsistency. But what I think is needed and why people are now why people gave up on Poch so soon. And remember, I still believe that he can switch it up. But the reason why people didn't believe is because they haven't seen improvement in the players that he currently has. If I were to ask you the amount of players that have improved since the start of the season until now, you'll name me Gallagher. You'll say Silva's been consistently inconsistent.
He's regressed. Silva.
But Benoit, like if I go through the whole squad, you'll say Gallagher is probably the only player that has really improved. Yeah? You'd say Palmer came in and he didn't improve. He had some. He almost had something to prove.
Standard,
So he brought a new standard. But then talk about every other player, every single other player in every position. You will struggle to say that they have been improved in this period.
Can I ask you guys a question then? Do you feel like Tuchel could have done something with this same team?
It's tough to say. That's too hypothetical because Tuchel isn't a manager that liked the vision of the club, and you can say he was right because he didn't want to sign all young G's. He wanted to sign OGs and all of this stuff. But some of the players that we were linked with under Tuchel could have put this club back even further. That's me being honest. And I love Tuchel. No.
Players like who?
Kimpembe. He wanted to sign Kimpembe.
Okay.
He wanted to sign Delict.
Okay.
He wanted to give us.
Look at Badia Shield.
No, wait.
Yeah, wait.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on.
I don't get that shit.
No, but wait.
He just came back.
He wanted
Yeah,
to.
because you will defend Reece James and
The
defend
thing
the
is,
injuries. You've got to
I
keep
will
the consistency there.
defend Reece James because every time Reece James comes back from injury, he's still giving 10 out of 10 performances.
Okay.
It's not true though.
It is true.
It's not
I don't
true.
believe that.
It's not
Because
true.
when he
is.
first came back, didn't he get a red card straight off the
Yeah.
rip? So it weren't 10 out of 10.
But before he got the red card, was his
and Badly,
performance not 10
the
out
thing
of
is
10?
with Badly Shield, I'm not gonna lie. Before his injury,
He wasn't that good. Everyone believes that he was that good. He wasn't that
And
good.
this is what upsets me more. Yeah, the disconnect within the fan base.
But
I
it's
don't mind.
like-
I actually don't mind about getting corn from Arsenal fans, United fans, whatever. But it's the fact that there's not like a leveling ground with Chelsea
There's
fans.
There's never gonna be a leveling ground.
But there needs to be an
understanding. Level in itself.
No, but there needs to be an understanding in what is going on. Like if you understand what's going on at the club, whether you agree with it or not, yeah. Like you said, the only thing that we all agree with, yeah, like you said, is that this might take a few years. But with the players, you just said that Tuchel, if he had his way, players like Benoit wouldn't be at the club and all of this stuff, or he would have gone with someone else.
I didn't say Benoit wouldn't be at the club.
Okay, but you said
I'm saying
I said Kimpembe and De Ligt, and then
Yeah.
you made noises about Benoit.
You guys were saying, that would have been a negative signing, and I'm saying, well, look at Benoit Badia Shield and how he's playing right now. Would it not benefit us if we had De Ligt on our bench?
Would
it not benefit us?
De Ligt's on 300k.
But would it not benefit us if De Ligt was starting or we had Kimpembe on the bench? Would it not benefit us?
These players, but that's what I'm saying.
But would it not benefit a fully fit Kimpembe?
No.
Not better than broken Badia Shield.
No.
A fully fit player,
Just not. It's
not
just,
better than a broken player right now.
But you're saying broken player. You're saying a player that's injured.
That's what I'm saying.
But Kimpembe
We
isn't.
knew
No,
Badia Shield was
Kimpembe
injured.
is actually not the player that we like. This is what
So
I'm saying. We could just have a therapy session right now.
Even if the issue is with Kimpembe.
Chelsea!
Kimpembe.
What are you doing to us? My gosh!
Can you calm
I
down?
can't believe this.
Can you calm down?
No, I hear it.
Can you? No.
'Cause that's
I
my
think
heart. That's my heart
You guys
inside
should
right
calm
now.
down because when I was telling you guys this in August, summer, everyone was like, "Oh, you're such a negative."
That was
man."
too soon, though.
No, it's not because you can see it with your eyes.
No,
You're all
but that's what I'm
football
saying,
fans.
and this is the problem. People didn't want to believe from the
You
jump.
didn't want to believe it.
But my thing was, if a manager starts at the start of the season and you have good preseason games, and you're playing against Premier League opposition, and it's not like they're playing the youngsters, like everyone's mixing and matching, but we want to see something that we can believe in. We saw players doing well. Everyone was talking about. Everyone in football was talking about what Jackson can do in the Premier League. They were talking about the signing Caicedos and all of this stuff.
But who was Jackson paired with?
No, but you're not deep in what I'm saying. I'm saying to not have hope from what you saw, and even the game against Liverpool, the game against City, the game against Arsenal. Yes, the actual results didn't lead to wins, but the performances. That's the issue. The performances aren't consistent enough and people aren't seeing improvement. That's why now people have given up because they don't know what's happening. But to have that thought at the start of the season when that wasn't the case doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying.
But
It
the
didn't
thing
make sense.
is, at pre-season, my mention was we looked like everything revolved around Nkunku being in this team.
Yeah.
Once
I remember you saying
Nkunku got injured, problems started to arise. But we played well against Liverpool. Oh no, it's fine. We got a draw against Liverpool. Oh, we played well. Who did we play against? Arsenal. Oh yeah, we that was fine. It was fine. We got a draw. It's fine. It's cool. Bro, we're just papering up the cracks, and that's what we've been doing for years and even before the new owners, for years and years, there were cracks in the team that were not filled. And then you bring in a manager like Pochettino, who I think is a very good manager. He can work really well with young talent. But you bring in a manager like Pochettino into a team where half the players are injured. Bro, like it's not good. And then you look, I'm not saying Poch is fully not to blame, because you know me, I'll put blame on anyone that needs to have it, right? But you look at the injuries that we've got, and I was looking at the fact, because obviously he always plays full centre backs, and it really pisses me off, especially when Gusto is there, fully fit and ready. But then you look at the actual options. Reece James always injured. Ben Chilwell always injured. And you're just there thinking, Fofana's always injured. You're there, you're looking at these cracks, and then you're expecting miracles.
But that's why
like,
I say
it's not like the games that we've been playing well. Thank goodness we played well. Against Man City, that's a game. That's a highlight of Chelsea's season, and we didn't even win. But that was a highlight of the season.
But why was it a highlight?
Because we played very well.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the performance. It's the performance. It's not the players. You can have teams, where they're gonna be plagued with injuries. It's not about that. It's the fact that we haven't seen a consistent level of performance from the team. So
that's the problem.
But that's what I'm not even talking about. That's why I can slightly understand why people are so onto Pochettino right now. Because when you look at the team, you can't tell me the Wolves team is better. You can't tell me who else beat Brentford and all of these sides. It's about how they are playing. Like, you can tell they have a particular style of play. No one can tell me what a Pochettino Chelsea side looks like. It's the same problems that happened under Potter, and that's why the game against Wolves was so damning for me, because it genuinely brought me back to how I felt last season. And I've not been feeling like this. I've been sick, because you can have moments where you have certain things to hang on to. Cole Palmer's playing really well. When Gusto's been back, he's played well. Petrovic has been really
amazing.
Good. There's little things. When Caicedo's had a few run of games where he's actually been solid. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? They've been all right. But then when you see the game yesterday, I'm like, wait, am I deluded?
Because all their men was on the pitch.
They were all on the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
But the problem is, what we mentioned time ago, that we don't know what the pattern of play is with Pochettino. So when we bring up someone like Tuchel, and then you say he would have probably set us back, I strongly disagree, because with the team that we had before, he made lemonade from lemons.
He made it work.
He made it work.
But
and a manager,
he didn't like the owners, though. That's the thing. You can't
put that aside for a second.
Yeah.
Just him as a manager with this team right now. Firstly, a couple of players would not be in this team if it was down to Tuchel, right? And a couple other players may have been like Kimpembe, may have been in this team, even though the transfer window closed after the Kimpembe rumours anyway. But hey, these players would have been in the team with Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel would have made it work. That is the difference between Pochettino and Tuchel. And I can't blame Pochettino for not making it work, because that's not in his locker. In his locker, he's got, he can produce young talent. Yeah, fair. But he always had the elders with him in Tottenham's team.
So
you're
saying
had that.
And that's where we struggle.
And we don't have that.
So you're saying we're expecting too much? We're saying we're expecting
too much from Pochettino. Right now, what we need to do is just have patience. And unfortunately, we're in a mess that we cannot clean up right now. We can't clean it up. And then with financial fair play, who knows how many strikes we gonna get?
Yeah, you actually can't.
In summer, we might not be able to buy nobody.
No, but that's
some players.
That's the thing.
I think the financial fair play thing, though, like in terms of selling players, I don't think we'll have too much of an issue for that. The only problem is we need to go get experience, though, and you know what? I don't want to throw the blame game out there, so I ain't gonna do that, but. The people that are in our team that are supposed to be the senior players, bar Thiago Silva,
need to be senior players. They need to be senior players still.
Yeah,
no, because Chilwell's 27.
Well.
And Sterling and Chilwell, sorry.
And
that's pretty much it.
And your captain, but he's just never there anyway. So
he's under 25.
He is under 25, but it's experience
in
that club.
You know what it is?
And
for me, right?
That's why we got rid of Ruben Loftus-Cheek and people were celebrating.
Yeah, and I would never celebrate. I'm Ruben Loftus-Cheek all the time. But you know what it is? I just think. and this is how I don't even want to talk about this team after this, but it's just like with the experienced players, you can tell the difference. Jorginho yesterday was the experience that they needed in that midfield to deal with Liverpool.
Chelsea fans
You
that
know,
was upset when he went to Arsenal.
Yeah, and that's what it is,
shattered.
experience. Like, but Liverpool have it as well, and you're gonna see it
In abundance,
with but you're gonna see it with Van Dijk. Liverpool's next game,
You'll see him.
forget it, because Van Dijk's going to lock in. No one ain't getting through. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those, and unfortunately, I love Sterling. You get me? Like, I love Sterling, but it's like, are you setting that example enough up there to motivate? Because right now, the only player that is motivating us attack is Palmer. Nkunku, I can't really count because he hasn't really played too much. But even him, he's even showing a bit more. The goal that he scored against Liverpool, class. Both feet, bang, back of the net is encouraging. Sterling's only got 3 more G&A over Mudryk that's played, and Sterling's played double the minutes. I'm not all blaming Sterling, but I'm like, look,
need more.
You've won 5 Prams.
But also,
like,
it's the fact, and we can't just keep talking about Chelsea, but even though I actually want to, yeah. But the fact, the problem is that these men are the players that are being picked week in, week out. And Pochettino is trusting in Gallagher and Sterling in that front line to be him on the pitch, in my opinion. Gallagher especially. And the thing is with Gallagher, I think he's a good player, but he's got his limits. And it's really sad to see how he started so well and then his performances have kind of like gone down to a standard where we're now asking for something else.
Are you surprised of that? Because you know we're trying to get rid of Gallagher in the summer, and then he was your captain. I'm not
surprised that any inconsistent player in this side, because the majority are under the age of 25. But that's where the manager, look at Brighton, for example. Brighton have a young squad, but they have a few senior players. Yeah. But when they had injuries, they still had a very young squad in terms of their average age on the games that they were playing. They weren't losing that many games, but when they were losing, you would see De Zerbi switching the team every week. No one was saying, you need this, you need that. It's about the whole team knowing what the standard is. We don't know what the standard is at Chelsea.
Say it? I feel like we're kind of discrediting Poch's switching of teams, because I've seen several times where I've wanted the same front three to start, he chooses another front three. Madueke comes into the picture, or he comes out of the picture. Mudryk comes into the picture, he starts, comes out of the picture. So he does chop and change. The issue is there's no pattern of play, there's no style of play, and as you said, he hasn't improved anybody. That's the issue that Poch is having. It's not the chopping and changing, because he's had the different squads. He's had plenty of injuries to chop and change. It's just himself as an individual is not individually connecting with the team.
Yeah.
Quick question, final one then.
Final question. Go on.
I'm sorry. You guys, cool. Since Todd Bowley's been here, 2 years, whatever, year and a half, 2 years. You spent $1 billion. This is the This is the team you've got, guys, for the next X amount of years. They're all on like 7 to 8 year contracts. Are you happy with the person that's sitting there? And what I mean by that is, do you think if someone comes in, whether or not it's given a year, 2 years, do you think the players which you're seeing here, are they good enough to take you guys back into that top four?
That's a very good question.
I'll be happy with this team in 4 years.
I don't think it's a 4 years thing.
But you have a 200 mil midfield. You don't think that's not.
I genuinely believe. No, I genuinely believe. Yeah, with the squad that we have, with the players that are out on loan as well. Yeah, I think that we've got a good enough squad to be in the European spots. I'm not saying certified Champions League.
Well, right now, you think that right now.
That's fine.
Conference League.
Yeah, European football. This is all European football. But I'm saying, because of the inconsistencies of young players in general, we're not going to be able to go out on the market and look at senior players that are doing well in their position, pay the clubs what they want and pay the player what they want. So we have to accept that these are the players that we have to, majority are going to be starting. But you can't tell me that suddenly all of these players are just not good. No one can tell me that here.
I understand that.
So if that is the case, that means the person at the top of the tree, and not even just him, something ain't right. It's not. It's not linking.
The club has been destroyed.
I don't think.
And this is what I said. The club's been. You know what? I'm done, man.
I don't think you lot have a shit squad. You lot actually have a decent squad, so I'm not understanding what's going on.
A good, the set of individuals in that squad.
Yeah.
Well,
So I just realised you were screaming. Hey, Prince, come back. You were screaming Enzo before. So is that it? You're done with Enzo?
No, he's not done with the players.
It's not the
He's
players.
not done with the players.
It's nothing to do with the players.
So wait. So you're just putting this on who then?
No,
It's
Listen.
not. It's not.
Listen.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
It's not
Don't
Don't
do
do
that. It's a
that.
mix.
It's just like saying it's not the
But
players.
look,
I'm thinking.
No,
what
you
we're
said, do we
saying
have
is,
the
Are we gonna
players?
be
Some foul
happy?
play
Are we
going
happy
on.
with the
Yeah, trust me,
players, the
disgusting.
personnel?
Serious
We
foul
don't
play
mind
going
him.
on. I'm
For
very,
me-
very disappointed in Copes right now.
For me, I'm more than happy with the personnel that we've got in our team right now. As individuals, every single person in our team, apart from a couple, I won't name their names, but every single person in our team, apart from those few, they can impact this team in a very positive way. However, if we have that team standalone, we will need to be patient because
Yeah.
experience plays into it.
And even those few that might not be up to standard, yeah, like what we're saying is there's not been a standard that has been set.
Right.
So
What is your
with,
standard?
With, like
Yeah.
with, for example, when Martinelli came into the Arsenal side, Arsenal fans were like, "Oh, why is he not playing this, that?" And he grew into his position.
Yeah.
A lot of these players in the Chelsea squad are under the age of 25 with all these price tags and all the noise around them. Do you know how hard it will be to grow in that environment? We're seeing a manager that has managed Neymar, Mbappe, Messi struggling under the limelight. We're seeing Thiago Silva, one of the best. Like, do you know? There's so much going on that we need someone. God. Steady the
Do
shit.
you know what it is? You see, like,
Please.
you see when it came with us, yeah, like when Arteta came in, we still had like Aubameyang, Ozil, we had Lacazette,
Yeah.
and yes, it was experience, but also there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes where we had to get rid of them, and we were also fielding a very young team. We still have a very young team, like just like you guys, we still have a
But
young team.
you had-
However, yes, in the last season, you look at people like Xhaka, who was still there and stuff, and we did
El
still have.
Nene.
We had we had El Neni. A lot of people behind the scenes as well. Like Jorginho's been here for what, 2 seasons now?
Yeah.
Also, yeah. So he's been helping. Like, but I've been to matches and I've seen him on the sideline, like next to Arteta, pretty much like coaching the team.
Exactly.
And I feel like you guys are missing that because
We had it with
all
Tuchel.
your senior players are gone. Like.
It's
I
only
thought
Thiago, it's only
Kante would
Thiago.
still be there, but he's gone. Like you, all
It was
your
too
senior
drastic.
they're gone.
It was too drastic.
It was too quick, and it was just like, yeah, let's get all these young players. Let's get
Yes.
someone who's managed young players and get them in and do it. But you're missing the vital, those people that can really push the team away from the manager. Those senior players that are like, listen, this is how we do things around here. This is our standard. You lot, look at what I do. Repeat that, and you lot are missing that.
And the people that wanted Kante gone, the people that wanted Jorginho gone, the people that wanted Ruben Loftus-Cheek gone, the people that wanted
not in that
Aspilicueta
same
gone,
category,
the
though.
people that
Aspie's
wanted
a big
Rudiger
one, yeah.
gone. All of these
All in
people,
one
all these
season.
5 big characters in our dressing room
Yeah.
left
Gone.
in a year.
Yeah.
Left.
I
1
actually
year.
did-
I think that's
I
a
don't, I don't,
major-
I don't,
Crazy.
I don't know if
major
this is a bad take here, but I actually didn't see an issue with majority of those players leaving. Mainly,
It's fair.
mainly because of the fact that our club, if we didn't do that, FFP and PSR would have slaughtered us because of the amount of wages,
contracts as well at the time
all the
as well.
contracts all these players
Yeah.
were on. Loftus-Cheek, I think he was earning just under 200 bags. The same with Hudson-Odoi. We were prizing people with those contracts because of moments or because of rumours being linked to buying and things like that. We don't do
Yeah,
that
he was
anymore.
doing
So on that
grab.
on that side of things, like
On the
I think
business side.
I think they did a lot better. But I think the people that aren't getting enough heat are, I didn't want to say their names, the recruitment behind the players that came in when we've signed youngsters. The biggest
Agreed.
example, we signed Andre Santos. We still had Gallagher. We knew we wanted to go in for Caicedo. The club probably knew we wanted to go in for Lavia. Why did we sign Leslie Ogochukwu? Why did we sign even any other of those other players when Cassidy is still there? You're signing players without an idea of where they're going to go.
On
That's-
God,
that's
on
another
God,
thing.
yeah. Chelsea fans, forgive me. I still, to this day, don't understand the Mudryk signing. We signed him because you guys wanted him.
But that's
Till
what you
this
lot love doing,
day.
that, though, isn't it? Like that's just
I
you
don't
lot.
get it.
Like you have
But
the
it
money
normally
for
works
it.
out
it's like,
though. That one didn't work out. Normally when you
That was
hire
our-
But the
that
thing
was our
is,
pricey one.
I think
Your
Mudryk
thing,
is.
though.
I think Mudryk is a raw talent. Like he's
Very
proper
raw.
good, proper good talent.
I think he could grow
But
into something,
the
but
fact
he
that-
needs coaching.
He
Bro,
needs two- he
the
needs
fact
a
that we
2-year loan.
we
That's
were
what he needs.
suffering with a DM and they went to go buy a winger,
he needs to
threw
go
me
on
off.
loan.
Yeah, that was
He
that
does
was.
need to go on
Of course
loan.
he can. And the thing
No,
is,
Modric
he
needs
can go on
Was it
game
90,
time.
62 million, bro?
Because the add-ons, he won't.
Wait, no, but you don't make that sound.
No.
60
He
million, but
needs.
to go on loan.
You
He
signed
needs
Havertz for
does.
62 and he needs to go on loan. What are you talking about?
No, he doesn't need to go on. He needs to go.
But you know what
Heck, he's gotta
Right,
go.
that was
let's
dark.
move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Calm down.
Let's just end on United. And I'd say their resurgence. Their 4-3 comeback against Wolves, then a 3-0 against West Ham. Ten Hag was under a lot of heat. He got his players back,
Yeah.
and they are performing. Hoyland, Shawn Mills in the crowd. Didn't give him acknowledgement, but you know he was there anyway. But you know what I mean.
Wait, can we quickly just touch on that situation though? Yeah, because I do love that story. Like, but he's a Liverpool fan though, no?
Yeah, no, but hey, bro, if it's for United, he's a artist. If United's gonna make him bread as an artist,
You're
I'm a
gonna be
United
there,
fan.
boy.
I
I'm a
can't
United
lie.
fan.
I can't lie to you. I don't know if I could do.
And
that.
he's
You
not
can.
from here as well. You
You
would, bro. If you made a tune and let's say it resonated more with United, or even actually you're not just because you're from London though. He's from Australia, man. I don't care really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
If,
get
if
it.
don't care
I,
about Wolves.
if I
It's a
was
bag,
not from London and I made a tune and Tottenham fans would say, "Oh, this is a tune," are you dumb?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
performing.
yeah.
I'm performing that.
Right,
Wow,
right,
then
right.
what are you
But I'm
talking about?
performing in Beyonce Stadium.
Yeah,
Easy.
we're doing that.
Easy.
But
I
we-
know, I
we-
ain't doing that.
we
though.
have to
I
give-
don't
Yeah,
think
I
I'm
draw the
doing
line
it. Like,
there.
I just
I
don't
draw
think
the
I'm
line
doing it.
there.
That's if I'm not from
Hotspur
England.
Stadium.
It's if I'm not
No,
from England.
We have
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
have to
yeah.
give
Yeah.
United their flowers though,
No, I'm
because
and Hoyland's awake now. Still,
And
like,
Mainu, I
Mainu.
might, I'm
Yeah,
watching
man.
Mainu.
Let's
Sweet.
talk about that goal though, because that you know what? Yeah, and it's
was
crazy
nice.
because all right, United fans they get reactionaries. Everyone's like, "Raw, the regen," and you know who they're talking about when they say the regen. They're saying Pogba's like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, like Pogba was an insane, ridiculous. You're not really gonna see footballers like that. Yeah?
Facts.
I'm not gonna say, and I'm not gonna put that pressure because that pressure there on Mainu is crazy. But what he's showing in that midfield, the maturity, the skill,
It's the maturity.
the control, the intelligence. You sit there and then it's like, I'm not saying he's gonna be Pogba. I'm not saying but do you know what? He's gonna be something.
Yeah, to have a
He's
homegrown
going to be something.
player on that stand or at that standard, and knowing that you can trust him in those games, like, and he's made a mistake that led to a goal, didn't affect him. Like he that goal for him, yeah. Like, you know, there's always that I'm him type moments for
Yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah.
that genuinely was that, because after that everyone started talking about what he can be doing in the next 10 years. They weren't doing that beforehand, and those are the moments that almost like define what your next contract's going to be, whether
Yeah.
you're in the England conversation and
Yep.
things like that. So fair play
Or
to him,
Ghana.
man.
Apparently Ghana
Oh,
are
no,
trying
no,
to
they're
convince
not-
him to switch. I'm just saying. I
They're
saw- I
not.
saw
He's
that.
not going anywhere.
They're gonna need to be fucking for real.
Yeah, he's not. He's not going anywhere. But big up Manchester United. And
Can we
and
just
Ten Hag.
end on Mason Mount? The news around Mason Mount.
What
Yeah, what's
news?
going on with him?
So apparently he's actually not been injured and he's been in hospital because of his mental health, and he's actually quite homesick and he wants to move back to London. This is just allegedly, but these rumors about his mental health has been going around.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently that's what the deal is with him right now. And I feel like it's important to talk about footballers'
it's
mental
kinda-
health,
yeah.
right?
Especially with Jordan Ibe, made his appearance for Ebbsfleet recently, and he spoke about how the mental health side of the football world was it was so hard for him to bear because of the pressures,
Yeah.
the money you get. I think he had a altercation where he was robbed and things like that. So it's definitely a conversation that is growing in football and that is needed, because I think when it's an injury, like your ankle, everyone's like, yeah, no, I can understand it. But when it's your mental, people are like,
Come get
your head back
in the game, man.
but really and truly, it can have an everlasting effect if you don't sort it out when you know you can.
It's true.
Exactly.
We're all human at the end of the day, and I think a lot of that aspect is taken out sometimes in sports. I feel like people, just because they see you on TV and they see you perform, and like it's like, oh yeah, you play in my club, like my favorite club, you need to be like this every time, and you need to do this and you need to do that. And that sometimes we're as normal people, like we go to work, we have off days, like we have great days, we might not have a great day, we might have a bad day, and we might be tired one day, we might be great energy one day. It's like it's the same for them, like and I feel like as fans we also have to show grace to some of our players, because they do be going through some stuff just like us.
Facts.
And they're not robots. And I
Facts.
think that's just one thing that people need to understand.
Facts. And they are very young. And I think
Mason
that's
Mount is a baby
He
still.
is.
He's
Really
a
young,
baby,
man.
and he lives alone. And his house initially is in London.
Yeah.
And it's like, can we, the ages that we are right now, leave an entire city, go move there by ourselves, have millions of people watching and criticizing us doing our work, and then having rival fans coming down at you, criticizing, like Chelsea fans, you guys have been on Mason Mount's neck ever since he left to go Manchester United. And it's like sometimes we forget that human aspect. So if the rumours are true about Mason Mount, I guess fans just need to give a lot more grace to their favourite footballers and to footballers that they don't like. It's just, it's not nice.
Or
It's
I
not
think
right.
we should just get rid of football Twitter because that's where all the toxic stuff.
Boy.
That's where it gets mad toxic.
ID these football Twitter bandits. ID them.
Yeah, no words.
Some of
You
them
can't
like
be hiding
12-year-olds.
Can't be hiding behind all of these
Bruh.
player pictures and stuff like that. But
And I just want to on the Mason Mount subject tonight, and I
You wanna
do hope he's
apologise?
okay. I do hope he's okay. So what I'm gonna say here is a little question for the Chelsea fans. Would you, like, let's say, like you said, he's homesick.
Yes.
Would you take him home?
Yes.
In the position that Chelsea are in, where they need experience and people that are going to die for them.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Anita, 'cause I know her answer already, and Sam's already said his. Chelsea fans out there on a real, would you take Mason Mount back home?
yeah, I would take him back, and we can leave it on that. I don't need to answer, but I love Mason Mount, and I hope he recovers and shows the world what we saw when we lifted trophies. And even the year we didn't lift the trophy, he was still very good.
Mason, I will bring you back myself. Like, I will actually drive you home. Come home.
But yeah, that was another episode of Keep It 90. That was more of a therapy session for Chelsea fans. Sorry
Boy,
if you're not a
man.
Chelsea fan. If you're not a Chelsea fan, you probably loved
They
it.
loved it,
listening
man.
to
They loved it.
How we're feeling.
Look at Coach. Hey, Coach is getting on my nerves, man.
Trying to how much hair I'm on.
Real quick, speaking of Chelsea fans, I'm hearing Frank Lampard might be the Chelsea women's new manager.
No chance.
Oh, I thought you was
You
about
want
to
the
say-
beds?
I was about to walk.
Nah,
Yeah,
Chelsea women's though. The rumours are circulating and the rumours are heavy
I was
right
about
now.
to leave. I thought you was
But
like-
boy,
Why?
not.
Because you're having back.
Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that stuff on all social media platforms as well. Send in questions if you're, locked in and tuned in, and send us some love, man, because us Chelsea fans need it. Anyway, see you guys later.
They
Bye.
do. Take care.